all go to bed. Much needed slumber, a reflection time to take account. Greg takes a look at the vial of mysterious liquor before taking the plunge and swallowing it all down in one shot. Krill speaks to his new friends. His growing menagerie never ends, and so to bed, and so to dream, and so to bed, and so to dream. Nightmares only happen when you're sleeping. Some animals are not right to be keeping. Memories, they will come and they will go. When you awake to frozen eyes, you know. Dub off a krill bolt curse, but one by words and one by pets. Some things are quiet, bring joy, but some bring nothing but regrets. I spent my evening mending my attire. I need to look my best in dice and desire.
It's a new day.
Yes, it is.
What would you all like to do?
Quinch would like to go and knock on Dweezil's door.
Okay, you do that.
Dweezil,
Quinch?
last night I heard some tiny music in my room. Will you come and, because you're musical expert, would you come to my room and see if you can hear the tiny music?
Tiny music.
Tiny music.
Tiny music. Oh boy.
I don't understand what you're asking me, Quinch. You better show me.
Yes, well, it's similar to the time in Shalbo Shore, but let me come and take you.
I mean, you don't. I'll just follow you. It's fine. You don't need to. No, Quinch, put me down. Quinch, I'll walk myself.
Gently puts him down.
Yeah,
folds his wings back up.
I'll follow Quinch to his room.
Yes, we'd like to listen out to see if we can hear the music now.
What are you talking about, Quinch?
So last night I heard tiny music.
You keep saying tiny music.
Soft, gentle, sort of far away, but also near and distant.
You heard music in the distance. We're in a town. It's quite possible that another bard or a troubadour of some sort was performing in one of the other. I mean, those guards, Kent, I believe they were called Kent and Tyrrell, told us that there were various different, boarding houses in the town. There's the North Shield House where we're staying. But there's also the Talking Troll, the Six Windows, and the Ever Wyvern, which and the Aldernath Arms, which we found about. Oh no, that's a different thing. That's something else entirely. Which we found out about at great length. There could have been a bard performing in any of those places.
Yes, but I opened the window thinking that I'd hear the sound more clearly, and it became fainter. And then when I approached my bag of possessions, which includes a bum-shaped potato, the music stopped.
So you suggest tiny music, magic potato?
Quinch goes and sits on the bed and listen out for it.
Can you both roll me perception?
Yeah.
9.
Natural 1.
Natural 1.
Yeah.
Neither of you hear any music. In fact, the only noises you can hear at this point is, the gentle stir of a town starting to awaken. But there's no music in that.
They hear like the starting of a little bit of a romance with them both sat on the bed together. The beating of each other's heart, that sort of thing.
The only thing you can hear, actually, just for a split second, you hear like a dog yelping.
I can't hear any music, Quinch. I don't know what it is that you heard last night.
He's just trying to lure you in there, is all, mate.
Yeah, either it was something, some music on the wind and it was just a coincidence that it stopped when you approached the potato, or you imagine we've been on the road for a long time, Quinch. We've seen many strange things. It's possible that it could have. Did you drink in the tavern last night? I think you had a shandy, didn't you?
I did. I swallowed, but I didn't. Well, I don't really. I'm not going to go into it.
I feel like Quinch tried to drink, but a certain bard maybe slapped it out of his hand because he was a bit upset at the prices. If I recall correctly,
maybe it was the shandy fumes that have got to you, Quinch. I'm sure it's nothing to worry about.
I did hear music last night in more ways than one, so I guess I'll Quinch picks up the cube of many colours and starts fiddling with it. I'll continue to keep an ear out for it, and I'll let you know if I hear it again. I'll hurry off and get you, but otherwise, did you have any plans today?
Just very, very quickly, Quinch, can you roll me a sleight of hand, please?
9.
You may now answer that question, please.
I've got some ideas about some things that we can do in town today, Quinch. I think we should make the most of being in such a bustling town. But let's gather everyone together and we can see.
Excellent. I'll massage your fingers as we walk along to get the others.
No, it's absolutely fine. I've just seen you manhandling that cube in the clumsiest way. I think I'll keep my fingers to myself.
Quinch allows him to not be massaged.
Thank you for respecting my wishes, Quinch.
The rest of you, do you wish to what's going? Are you going to go and wake the others, or do you think they'll meet you there?
I mean,
meet you outside their room.
Do I have I don't know. I've got rope. I'm gonna makeshift a set of leads for the dogs. Is that right? Is that fine?
Yep.
Yeah, cool. And then I'm just gonna walk out into the hallway with my dogs, one on each side, sort of just walking looking all cool with a pair of mastiffs that absolutely love me.
That have got their. It's worth noting as you're pulling them along, leading them along, they've sort of got their tail between their legs at this point.
Listen, boys, cheer up. You fucked up, not me. One of you should technically be dead, but we're not getting into that.
That'll get them on side.
Are we gonna get on, or are we gonna is this gonna be a really awkward relationship from here on out? It's a long campaign. We could be together for a long time.
Why? What? Oh, God, I can't even do a dog voice at this point. Why are you master?
Because I paid a lot of money for you.
We miss old master.
If you can convince your old master to give me the money back, I'll happily give you back.
Okay, so where are you now currently?
I'm in the landing, I guess, and I'm gonna take the dogs downstairs.
Okay, as you come out onto the landing, you notice Dweezil and Quinch exiting from Quinch's room then.
Oh, that explains all the noise last night.
You heard it too. See, I told you, Dweezil.
Greg and Daboff.
I'd like to use my rope to fashion a leash for Vin and then swagger downstairs like a badass, please. With my perfectly under control weasel.
But you don't really need a rope for them.
I might instruct him to do a little bit of a trick, stand up on his hind legs and beg, just to really show off.
Okey-dokey.
But
Just instilling a more submissive relationship. I like it.
So are you stepping out into the hallway as well?
Yeah.
Just at that moment, the mastiffs see Vin for the first time, and they pull on the.
Oh no!
They run towards Daboff and Vin, barking furiously.
I'd pull back on the leads. I don't know how strong. I don't know how strong these dogs are, but yeah.
Strength check, please.
Against 2 dogs. Brilliant.
At disadvantage because you're trying to. You're trying to control 2 of these, I guess.
Nice.
In fact, what we'll do is you can roll it flat, and they'll roll at advantage because there's 2 of them.
Okay.
We'll do it that way instead. Right, what'd you get?
22.
22. Yeah, like 4. So you manage to they go flying, smash themselves on the door behind you. No, you manage to restrain them, not without sort of maybe not hurting them, but certainly a sort of a little bit of a yelp comes out of Bob.
God.
Bob's the one I didn't bite, though, isn't it? Bob's the one I threatened to chop his head off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got one dog that you've bitten, and you've got another dog who you have sort of strangulated.
Cool. Is the owner of this establishment about?
Well, you're still on the landing at the moment.
Sounds like Billy and Bob aren't the only one with a tail between their legs.
What did Vin do during this? By the way, did he sort of scurry up you? Or...
No, he's perfectly obedient. He just sat there, just like stoic.
So he wasn't scared of 2 mastiffs running at him.
Nah, he's a good boy.
Okay.
But I give him I give Krill the daggers, like dog owners do when someone else's dog does it.
Greg, you're the last one in your room. Can you roll me a wisdom saving throw, please?
Oh.
That is going to be a 16 overall.
16 overall. Yeah. So you can leave your room. Perfectly.
We're in the talking troll.
North Shield House.
Sorry, we're in North Shield House. Sorry.
So Greg's just going to come out of his room silently. He's not even going to acknowledge the guys are really in the way of him. He's just going to barge past them and go, don't even try talking to me before I've had my coffee. And then he's just going to make his way downstairs.
Okie dokie. The rest of you follow him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a question rather than a statement, by the way.
So yeah, I'm gonna say, come now, Vin, downstairs, and then Vin obediently walks downstairs like a good dog, and I'm just gonna give Krill just a look of, see, that's how dogs should behave, or weasels.
Like weasels.
I let go of one of the leashes and then I go for Vin. No, I don't let go. I just loosen it by about a foot, so he's able to get that extra bit of distance closer to Vin.
Davov just turns his head and just goes, "Humph," and then walks downstairs.
I pat Quinch on the head and I say, "Come on, Quinch, downstairs. That's a good boy."
Are you putting a leash on that thing?
No, I don't need to. I've got Quinch really well trained.
Do you do air quotes when you say downstairs? Really, Dweezil, in the hallway. Have some dignity. By the way, your armour's looking extra shiny today.
What do we see once we're downstairs?
Yeah, as you get downstairs, the downstairs is quieter than it was last night when you first arrived, and there's a few people sat at various tables, eating breakfast. You're not the only residents of the North Shield House, and they're just there, having their breakfast. And there's a few tables that are available to you. Are you going to sit down and have some brekkie, or what are you doing?
I'm going to look around for Erglon?
Gagargur.
Garglon?
Elgar Meltimer.
Yeah, Gregor No, Ergler.
She is, at the moment, she's sort of rushing between tables, but she actually, she notices you looking at her, and she sort of mistakes your look to her as a sort of, the way you would look at, say, a waitress in a restaurant, sort of trying to get their attention.
That's exactly how I'm looking at her.
with two dogs
Her
trying
dogs.
to get at your friends. Yeah. You don't see the third dog. You just see her rushing around. And she sort of like sees you, sort of waves, and then she sort of like beckons over to a table, sort of just almost sort of suggesting that one's free if you want to go and sit down.
Oh God, we're a podcast, so this isn't going to come across well. I sort of go, no, you come here, you come here, and I beckon her towards me.
Okay. She is quite busy.
That doesn't change the fact that I beckoned her towards me.
She holds up a sort of finger to you, just sort of saying like 1 minute, and she sort of rushes off into the kitchen.
I go and sit at the table she's pointed out for us.
There we go.
Cool.
That's fine.
As Greg Merrill has come downstairs, he's going to walk past like a fellow patron of this establishment who's just about to drink their coffee, and he kind of just takes their coffee out of his hand and drinks it and continues walking. But because Greg's such like an old senile man, the other patron doesn't take offence from this.
Right. So you've taken a slug of coffee though.
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
And then I just walk over and sit at the same table, I guess.
Okay. As you sit at the table, the world sort of swims a little bit, and you just sort of black out for a moment. And during that moment of you blacking out, you could swear you were somewhere else. You could swear that you were in another town, perhaps, almost at a different time of day, a different place. And you're walking around a busy marketplace, and this is clearly not Tribor. And you have a sense of loneliness, hunger, and it's very much cold compared to the warmth that you had in the Tribor, in the North Shield House Inn. You feel very, like I say, lone, hungry, cold. Your stomach spasms as you smell some meats being cooked at a nearby stall. And while a nearby grocer at the market is distracted, you have no control over this, by the way. You're not controlling this body or anything. It's literally as if you're in something, another time and space. You're watching something through someone else's eyes. While a grocer is distracted, you see that their stall is unattended, and you rush over, and you reach for an apple, and just as you reach for that apple, the grocer just swings round to you and slaps your hand away and shouts for the guards, and you're running through the streets, and then you're back in the North Shield House.
Wow.
God, this is deep, isn't it?
Sorry, just Greg, anything you want to do with that information?
No, I feel that Greg feels that he's just having another one of his kind of episodes of something that he may recall that happened to him in a previous kind of time when he was younger, but doesn't really think much of it, and just kind of puts it down to a lack of caffeine in the morning and a rubbish night's sleep in a bed that he hasn't slept in before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keeps it to himself. Doesn't.
Yeah, doesn't tell anyone. Just kind of keeps quiet about it. Doesn't see any reason to speak up about it.
Has Krill seen anything? Like, did he see a reaction in Greg?
No. It was for Greg. This was like seconds. So it's not like he blacked out for like 5 minutes. It's not like his body particularly changed. If you were talking to him, if this happened mid-conversation, you might have noticed there was like a gap in his speaking and everything, but the fact that he's just slugged the coffee and come and sat down, it's sort of almost like the second he sat down, he's just sort of like just spaced out for a few seconds, and then he's back in the room, and with no adverse physical reaction to it. It's not like he feels sick or anything like that. It's literally just like but he was very much like, it was for Greg Mill, it was a very much, he was there, it was his body, it was his doing, he just didn't have any control over it. It was just, as Greg sort of said, it's almost like he's had an old memory just come swimming back.
So is everyone sat at the table now?
Good question. Have the rest of you all gone and sat down next to Krill and Greg?
Yeah.
I'm going to go over to the table, but I'm not going to sit down. I'm going to stand with my hands on the back of the chair because I want to kind of chair a meeting.
Quinch sits in the chair that he's doing that on.
I'm imagining it like a booth, like a booth of two sides with a table in the middle. It's Bob, me, Billy. There's no more room on our side.
Incorrect. Billy and Bob know not to get on the seats. They're trained by Urgula, and they know that the seats are for customers and not for the dogs.
I guess so.
So, did you guys hear any music last night?
No, I didn't. Did you?
Yeah, I heard sort of weird music, and I couldn't tell where it was coming from. It's just a bit odd.
Well, I feel like you've imagined this music, Mike.
Yeah. Greg and Mel, we've been through this, Quinch.
Yes, Dweezil.
I think Quinch had a long day and needed to sleep. I checked it out this morning. There wasn't any music. Quinch was imagining it, Greg.
Yes.
I think someone accidentally fell in love on his late night rendezvous.
The music of the heart. I see what you're saying.
Is this a sign of love, my friend?
I will not tell you what happened when I went down that path.
Well,
anyway, let's get to breakfast.
Hold on. I'll tell you what I was thinking about last night, and I don't think that we've ever had a discussion about it, which was a bit weird. The people that attacked us in the flying castle, and my main question is, who the hell were they? And we all saw the tattoo. Has anybody seen the tattoo before? Or the symbol that the tattoo was of?
Can you describe the symbol? I didn't get a good look at it.
It was the unknown tattoo that was on the body of Amarath, was it?
Yeah.
What was the tattoo depicting? I remember seeing it, but it was just squiggles to me.
If I can remember, I believe it was of a dragon, but maybe the great voice in the sky could tell us.
Before I do, so at the time, Greg, Mel, and Quinch were up in the top floor. The other three were on the ground floor. The other three, do you remember what tattoo was on?
One of them was told.
I only recall one tattoo, and it fucking hurt.
I was going to say I did fly the body down onto the ground level for us all to have a look at.
You did, but
someone
they
definitely correctly, someone correctly identified it, and I did not.
It wasn't the black-winged serpent, was it?
That was it. Yes.
I mean, I can metagame and say that someone was told it was the Kraken tattoo, but I don't know who. I can't remember who was told that. It was someone downstairs, I believe.
It was downstairs. Yeah, one of you investigated the body downstairs, and it was the tattoo of a Kraken. Greg,
I feel like
Greg
it was probably me.
I think you checked and you saw a big beast, but you didn't know what it was. But for the sake of moving this along, Greg describes what the tattoo was on Amarath's body, and it was essentially the same as what the other three saw. So you now all together now know that it was both of them were tattooed with a Kraken.
Quinch gasps. Not only do you guys obviously know that I once fought a Kraken, although I confess I don't know how that particular aspect helps us here, because having fought a Kraken means very little. You know, I could fight a bird and have a tattoo for a bird, and it wouldn't mean that I was a bird person. If anyone had a bird, it would be Krill. Anyway, no. But the interesting thing is, I believe I tasted the mouth liquid of one of these beings, and it tasted of salt water. So is this some sort of Kraken-worshipping water folk?
Well, perhaps, but if we found a library or a sorcerer's castle that may have some information on this sort of thing, perhaps I could persuade him to share it with us. But,
no, I don't think that would help. I think we should just come up with endless and mindless suggestions around this table here. Let's solve it now together.
No, in that case, it was definitely the Kraken of Love.
It did have salty.
Krill just wants breakfast.
Dweezil, did you want to say anything?
I wanted to. What are our plans while we're in Tribar? I know we've discussed that we want to use this opportunity to maybe purchase some things that we feel we desire. We've talked about that we might use this opportunity to try and gather some funds. I took when we came into town yesterday, I took various different notices down from the town notice board, and there are some interesting opportunities that are available to us where we could make some possibly make some funds, or possibly just have a bit of an adventure.
Why don't you tell us what's available to us?
Well, there are a couple of missing persons. It might be nice for us to do something noble for once.
God,
that might be the intention anyway.
God knows we need it.
There's an opportunity to deal with a pest problem, and there's someone who requires some help gathering some ingredients, some herbs and spices, and there is what appears to be an opportunity to help restore a drinking establishment, an alehouse. So there are plenty of opportunities in town for us to get involved in if we want to try and.
Right, my first question, sorry, is if we do the alehouse one, do you reckon they'll name the alehouse after us, or at very least a beverage?
Well, how jolly would it be, Gregomel, for them to have a drink, a drink named after each of us on the menu? That would be
just
perhaps,
the circus.
Perhaps for you, Gregomel, they could have some kind of Crimson Bullock and coffee cocktail.
I am sold on helping out the alehouse.
Quinch, what was the cocktail that you invented back in Nightstone?
I was actually thinking the drink that I invented back in Rivenfield, which I believe was called Quinch, the Bringer of Migraines.
That could be quite good fun. As this has taken about 10 minutes of me inspiring the lads to do some good deeds or whatever. And if you haven't all got temporary hit points, you've all got 9 temporary hit points now because
leveled up.
New level?
It's because I give 9 now because we've leveled up. So you get 9 temporary hit points.
It sounds like a few of these quests of yours would or could, like the missing persons, and did you say there was some sort of locating of spices? It sounds like these deeds could use the famously accurate scent of dogs.
Well, it's quite a good opportunity, isn't it? It seems fortuitous that Krill came into possession of these magnificent beasts last night. Dogs
he seems to be building up quite a good rapport with them, from what I see.
Absolutely,
as well.
although I'm slightly concerned about this one appears to be missing part of an ear. I don't recall it being missing an ear and covered in blood last night when he bought the dog, but maybe I'm...
Have we just made it canon that I actually bit off a chunk of the dog's ear?
You made it canon.
You rolled for it.
I specified that I was joking about actually removing a chunk of ear.
5 damage. Yeah.
Yeah, she'd be dead if you had anything to do with it. Come on.
It bleeds out.
I'm assuming the dogs get the temporary hit points as they're also part of the party, right?
No, because I can only do it for 6 allies. So, including myself. So myself, Quinch, Gregomel, Krill, Darboff,
Vin,
and Vin.
Instead of saying Vin, could you do it to Sebastian, please?
He probably needs it if he's been outside all evening.
So fucking, there's a frozen solid goat out there.
Sebastian's just stood outside the inn and just out of nowhere, with no context of what happens, just go, "Ooh, I feel a bit more perky today."
I like Sebastian's new voice.
Yeah, what happens in I don't know. Right, as you're having this conversation though, Urgula comes bounding out of the kitchen. and comes over to you guys, and before you've made any resolution about what you want to do, and she walks over and she sees Billy and Bob, and she walks over and she just goes over to sort of give them a stroke, obviously being her old master, and they're excited to see her. And she just goes over and she goes to give them a stroke. Oh, how are you doing, boys? Billy, what's happened to you? And she turns to you, Krill. What happened in the night? These dogs are prime fighting dogs, and yes, they've had a few scrapes in their time, but they've been in your room overnight, and one of them seems to have. What were you doing with them?
They're my dogs now. It's none of your business.
Well, that is very true. I can't argue the logic, but when I sold you the dogs, I thought it was with the intention that you treat them well.
There was no terms and conditions to our sale.
Well, I'm not a fan of bullies, and if you've been bullying one of my old dogs in my house and in my inn, then you can leave right now.
The dogs, they decided to have a little scrap, but I broke it up. Apparently, it was something to do with food. I don't know. But they're fine now. See. Speaking of which, can we order some breakfast?
She gives you a scowl, and sort of looks down at Billy with a little bit of remorse that she accepted your offer last night, and she says that's absolutely fine.
If you want the dogs back, it'll be 200 gold pieces.
That's disgusting behaviour that you've come into my establishment. You've bought my dogs, and you're willing to sell them overnight at a 100% profit, and I'm not a fan of it, if I'm honest, sir.
But
I'm not a fan.
But is that a yes?
No, it's not. It's not a yes. I don't have that sort of money. The best I can rustle up is 100 gold pieces, which are the 100 gold pieces you gave me last night.
Krill, give the lady the dogs. Take the money.
Can I return one of the dogs?
Krill, give the lady the dogs. Take the money.
I mean, if anything, you should give the lady a bit of a discount because half the dog's missing an ear now.
You've left half the dog upstairs.
I give you the dogs back. You give me 100 gold pieces, and you throw in breakfast for me and the lads.
I'll give you 100 gold pieces, and I'll throw in breakfast for the lads.
with that, Dweezil just slams his hand down onto the table and says, "Deal. Now bring me some breakfast."
What can I get for you, sir?
May I ask you what the most extravagant egg dish you have on the menu is?
Dweezil vomits in his mouth.
Yes, certainly. We have egg supreme.
What's supreme about it?
It's the eggs are lightly whiskered.
Whiskered?
Brilliant. Lightly whisked, and we throw in some peppers, and we throw in some potatoes, and just anything else that we have in the kitchen at the time. It's sort of a seasonal thing. It sort of changes from sort of day to day, really.
Yes, I'd love your seasonal supreme eggs.
Excellent. One egg's coming your way. Anybody else would like anything? We have sausages, we have bacon, we have all kinds of meats. More egg dishes as she sort of looks towards Dweezil.
Do you have anything non-meat?
Non-meat.
I mean, last time I checked, egg was non-meat.
No, like
plant-based.
Yeah.
Krill's had enough to
specific-
meat.
Like a dog's
Like-
ear, yeah.
Meat alternatives rather than pork.
We do have some porridge that we could put together for you.
What's in the porridge?
It's made with lard.
Oats and things. It's porridge supreme. We sort of we whisk the porridge, and we add some peppers and some potatoes and sort of whatever else we've got in the kitchen. It's a bit of a seasonal dish, really.
Yeah, I'll take the porridge. I'll take the porridge supreme. It's nice to see.
I'd make that too.
Yeah, it's nice to see someone making an effort to do a plant-based menu item.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, we're quite progressive here, sir.
I would like some coffee, and then follow that up by a cappuccino, if you would. And
Excellent.
For dessert, I'll have a crimson bullock.
Excellent. I can certainly put all of that together. And you, my friend.
I assume that's me. Do you have
Sorry, yes. The only one who hasn't spoken. Yes.
Do you have chicken nuggies?
So chicken nuggies, are they when you get a chicken and you sort of rub the top of its head?
Oh, chicken nuggies. I like your style, sir. No. Darabov's completely straight-faced at this and just leans in again and goes, chicken nuggies.
We don't have chicken nuggies. No, we do have some chicken that we can do something. If you could just describe what the chicken nuggies are like, I can't believe I'm saying the word nuggies. If you can describe them, I can see if Chef could put them together for you there.
It's basically just take a chicken.
Okay. Hang on a second, sir. And she pulls out a notepad. Okay, she writes down chicken.
Smash it flat.
Sorry, alive or dead?
Either or.
Right, okay. Either or. I'll have a word with the chef about that.
Yep. And then reform it into nuggies, please.
I can't imagine, like, Dabov, the one that comes across as the most serious member of our party, is like, chicken nuggets, please.
And do you have a higher chair? I can't quite reach the table.
I'm very impressed that a minute ago that you said that you're quite progressive and that you offer a large range of plant-based meals, but also that you're happy to ask the chef to pulverise a live chicken.
I believe I said smash it flat.
She looks across to Quinch and says, because we are progressive, it doesn't mean that we are
civilized,
willing to say no to other custom. This is an inclusionary breakfast where we try to cater to all dietary options.
It's lovely to see.
Like chicken nuggets.
Okay.
I
will see if
Can I make an additional request?
Yes,
that
sir.
you add it to your menu and call it Dabov's Chicken Nuggies.
If I'll speak to Chef and if he's able to successfully make this dish, then I will consider adding it to the North Shield House menu.
Excellent.
Dweezil, you were going to ask me something before he ordered his chicken nuggies.
If we help them restore the frog, we could try and convince them to have an all plant-based menu. We could try and turn it into the Sword Coast's first
gastro-vegan pub.
Gastro-vegan pub.
I mean, that rules out my cappuccino, and I'm not entirely happy with that.
Dabov leans in and says, well, but what do we do about nuggies? what animal can we smash flat for vegans?
Grass nuggies.
Grass nuggies.
Just before Gala leaves, she says that just to let you know that will be 5 silver pieces for all of that. Would you do you want any drinks? The rest of you?
Did she not say that she was throwing in breakfast for the lads?
Oh, of course she did. Yes, I take that back. In which case, that will be 1 silver piece for Krills.
Pay the ladies their money, Krill.
Yeah, I picked up on that very specific wording earlier as well.
Yeah.
What is it? 1 silver piece.
1 silver piece.
And 2 mastiffs.
Yeah, I give her a silver piece in it.
And 1.95 mastiffs.
Well, for the time being, keep the mastiffs. I'll return with the gold. I don't want to do a deal whereby you give me the dogs and you don't get the money back. I'm an honourable woman in this establishment.
As Greg's looking around the table, that he can see that Mr. Mosey's looking a little worse for wear, bare slobbered, etc. And he's feeling charitable now he's had his coffee in the morning, so he just picks up Mr. Mosey.
Rips him in half like a phone book.
Using his hat power, he is going to use the cantrip of mending to make him as good as new.
So I believe you need to roll an Arcana check to see if that works first. Is that correct? I think.
Just says touch transmutation.
But it's not a cantrip. It's not a spell that you know, is it?
No.
So you would need to use. So you're using your.
Oh yeah. I get you. Well, I rolled an 18.
You can cast a cantrip that you don't know. The cantrip must be on the wizard's or the sorcerer's spell list, and you must make a DC 10 Arcana check. If the check succeeds, you cast a spell. If the check fails, so does the spell, and the action used to cast a spell is wasted.
Yeah, so I cast it, it works, and Mr. Mosley is looking better than he ever has in the possession of anyone for many years. And then,
there you go, Krill. You've got an...
There we go. I just pass it back to Krill.
All right.
Brilliant.
Thank yous are overrated, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't.
I wanted a
quite work
tear
out
coming out of the eye. That's what I wanted.
Your behaviour and motivations are all over the place.
I was thinking about how I wasn't saying right to him. I was thinking right as in like as Sam said right as in how do I react to this? Because me and
gratitude is the standard way, really.
Yeah.
Right. Listen. Right, in character, Greg. I understand since we've been with this posse, we've had a rocky relationship. We've not always got on as we should have, considering we spent a long time together beforehand. But you know what? You're a bit of all right.
That's fine. You can just buy me a coffee sometime.
And then I go to give him a fist bump.
Okay, I do the fist bump and then the
And then we blow it up.
Big Hero 6.
That looks like heebie-jeebie fingers to me. So what are you firing at him?
Magic missile.
Yeah.
Straight at Mr. Moti.
No, I can do better than that nowadays. I got Firebolt.
Okie dokie. By the way, while that was all going on, Urgla's rushed off to the kitchen to put in your order. She's come rushing back without your food because it's obviously going to take a little bit of time to cook. And she says, she walks back up to your table and she says, I'd like to sort of. I'm quite a nosy woman. This is my establishment. I'm happy to allow people to stay here. That is the point of this place. However, I'd like to interject myself into people's lives. I like to know about my customers. I like to know. Forgive me for asking. I don't believe that you're locals or that you've been in Tribal before. You're certainly not faces that are familiar to me. You've come to our town. You've stayed at my establishment. I'm just interested to know what brings you to this fine town. What is your, what brings you here? Why are you here? And what are you looking to achieve?
A big flying castle brought us here.
I feel like we should let the talking man talk.
No, you're forgiven. No need to apologise, Urgla.
Thank you. Like I say, I'm certainly. I'm happy to admit I'm a nosy woman, but I just wish to know what it is that brings you to this town, and yes, why you're here, and if there's anything that I can do to help facilitate your stay, both in the North Shield House and indeed the town. Whether there's anything I can offer to help you, or
we find ourselves in Tribal. We've travelled from the south. We're adventurous. There's no need to lie. We're adventurers. We're on a mission of great import, but we're excited to visit a town of great reputation. We've got items we wish to purchase. We are in the market to earn some coin. While we're here, we are. I know full well why you wish to talk to us. I mean, you can't help but know who we are. I mean, we have amongst us one of the greatest sorcerers in the history of magic. We have two.
You're making a man blush.
We have two of the finest warriors. The finest warriors the Sword Coast has seen in centuries. We have one of the the least said about my friend Derek, the better, as Dweezil taps the side of his nose, and of course, you don't need me to tell you my name. We are, we're here to bring our skills to Tribor.
Whilst he's saying this, I just elbow Quinch, and which ones are we?
I think so. We were the big warriors, and I think the weasel is called Derek.
If you know of any opportunities, or if anyone could do with the services of men such as us, then please be sure to point us in the right direction.
Thank you for listening. If you've enjoyed this episode, hit the subscribe button on your favourite podcast app to ensure you don't miss any future instalments of Dice and Desire. And in the meantime, if you want to interact with us, come and find us on Twitter and Instagram @Dice and Desire.
Oh, there, sailor. Yes, I'm talking to you. Do you yearn for high seas adventure and piratical mayhem at the roll of a D20?
Yes, I'll just toss you your shirt.
Very sassy.
No, I drink beer and I fart in my sleep.
Now that I got your attention with sex, here
welcome to my pub, the Wizard's Sleeve.
It's still a cow that I'm gonna get in a bag. Do you know how big a cow is?
Don't put gold in your ass. That's not the catchphrase we were looking for.
It is one that we often use at this group,
Enough
though.
about where you keep your secret stuff.
It's not in my anus. Stop it.
Then sign your name in blood. Join the rovers and your crew on their adventures every Wednesday, wherever you find podcasts.